The internet is absolutely losing it right now because shocking new footage of NBA YoungBoy has just surfaced, and fans can't believe what they're seeing. The viral clip allegedly shows the rapper in the middle of a heated brawl with his own friends backstage after a recent concert. And the chaos is unreal. Chairs flying, security scrambling, and voices shouting in pure rage. This isn't your typical post-show celebration. According to multiple sources, tensions had been brewing all night. And by the time YoungBoy stepped off stage, everything exploded. The video has already racked up millions of views across social media, and fans are split. Some are defending YoungBoy, saying he was provoked, while others claim it's proof that he's spiraling again. But here's where it gets even wilder. Insiders say the fight didn't just end backstage. Reports suggest that the argument continued outside the venue, with YoungBoy's entourage turning on each other as police tried to break it up. Eyewitnesses described the scene as absolute chaos, and several people were reportedly escorted away in handcuffs. So what really happened after the concert? Was this a betrayal inside YoungBoy's own circle, or just another moment of fame-fueled tension going too far? Stick around, because this story is about to expose the truth behind the viral footage and the real reason NBA YoungBoy might be on the edge like never before. It all started the moment NBA YoungBoy walked off stage that night. The concert had been intense, thousands of fans screaming every lyric, lights flashing, and the crowd surging with raw energy. But behind the scenes, things weren't nearly as electric. Multiple witnesses claim that YoungBoy was visibly frustrated even before leaving the stage. His team could sense it. Something was off. According to people close to the situation, the tension had been building for days leading up to the concert. There were rumors of money disputes, arguments over and disagreements between YoungBoy's close friends, the same guys who had been with him since his early days in Baton Rouge. Those loyal to him for years were now clashing over who really ran things in his camp. After the show ended, YoungBoy returned to the dressing room, but instead of a calm debrief, all hell broke loose. One insider told a local blogger he came back angry. He threw his mic, slammed the dressing room door, and started yelling about people messing with his money. The insider also claimed that YoungBoy felt betrayed by one of his friends who allegedly leaked private information about his upcoming business deal to the media. The leaked footage that's now circulating online reportedly shows the exact moment things escalated. The video, just under 40 seconds long, begins with muffled yelling. Then you can see YoungBoy visibly angry, wearing his tour jacket, confronting two men who appear to be part of his crew. Within seconds, one of them steps too close, and YoungBoy shoves him hard across the room. The camera shakes as others rush to separate them. But by that point, it's too late. The rapper lunges forward again, shouting something that's barely audible over the chaos. Security immediately stepped in, but even they struggled to calm the situation. "It was wild," said one witness who was working backstage. "You could feel the tension in the air. These weren't random fans. These were his people." When you see YoungBoy going off like that, you know something deep must have happened. Fans who followed YoungBoy's career aren't entirely shocked. The rapper has always been known for his raw emotions, his refusal to fake anything, and his tendency to speak his mind no matter who it offends. But this time, the stakes are higher. YoungBoy isn't the underground kid from Baton Rouge anymore. He's a global superstar with millions watching his every move. And one wrong headline could cost him millions. Shortly after the footage leaked, social media exploded. Within hours, hashtags like #YoungBoyFight and #ConcertChaos were trending on X and TikTok. Fans dissected every frame of the video, trying to identify who was involved and what sparked the argument. Some pointed out that one of the men in the clip looked like a longtime friend from YoungBoy's early days, someone who's been in his music videos and personal vlogs for years. Others speculated that the fight was staged to promote an upcoming project. But the way YoungBoy's face looked in that video, that wasn't acting. That was pure rage. Bloggers and media outlets wasted no time jumping on the story. One entertainment reporter wrote, "This isn't just another celebrity fight. This is personal. You can tell from YoungBoy's tone, this was betrayal." The situation took another turn when local authorities reportedly showed up outside the concert venue. Police confirmed that a disturbance occurred after the event but did not name anyone involved. Still, several fan-recorded clips from outside the venue showed flashing police lights, loud shouting, and people being escorted into cars. Some claimed YoungBoy was still at the scene when police arrived, though there's been no official confirmation of his detainment. Behind the scenes, insiders say the fight may have stemmed from a betrayal involving stolen money and leaked business information. One person in YoungBoy's circle allegedly shared details about his upcoming partnership with a streaming service, a deal that was supposed to be private until finalized. When the news broke early online, YoungBoy reportedly felt humiliated and furious, believing someone close to him had sold him out for a quick payout. And for YoungBoy, loyalty means everything. Ever since breaking into the rap game, he's always emphasized keeping his circle small, people who've been with him since day one. To think that someone from that inner circle might have betrayed him, that was enough to send him over the edge. Fans online quickly began drawing parallels between this and his past controversies, moments where YoungBoy's temper and trust issues collided. From his legal battles to public feuds, he's never been one to hide his emotions. But this felt different. This wasn't about enemies or rivals, it was about his own people. Several rappers and industry figures even chimed in. One anonymous producer commented under a viral post, "This is why you can't mix business with friendship. When money comes in, everything changes." Another artist tweeted, "You can love your brothers, but when loyalty's gone, it's over." As the story spread, YoungBoy's team went silent. No official statements, no posts, nothing. For an artist who usually addresses rumors head-on, the silence was deafening. Fans began to wonder if this time the situation was more serious than anyone thought. Meanwhile, people close to YoungBoy say he's been isolating himself since the incident. He's reportedly staying off social media, avoiding interviews, and focusing solely on recording music. A source claimed he's angry, but he's also hurt. That's what people don't see. When someone he loves crosses him, it hits different. The leaked footage has since been removed from several platforms due to copyright claims, but the damage is already done. Copies of the clip are circulating everywhere, from TikTok edits to reaction videos on YouTube. Some fans are begging YoungBoy to address what happened, while others fear it might spark a deeper fallout within his crew. This isn't the first time Superstar's inner circle has fractured publicly. But with YoungBoy, the emotional intensity makes it impossible to ignore. Every time he's been knocked down, he's come back stronger. But this is the kind of betrayal that could change everything about who he trusts and how he moves. And as the dust starts to settle, one thing is clear. This fight wasn't just a random altercation. It was a breaking point, years in the making. Something snapped that night backstage, and the world got a front-row seat to it. Now, fans are left asking the same question. What happens when loyalty turns into lies and fame becomes a battlefield between friends? Because for NBA YoungBoy, this might be the moment that defines the next chapter of his life. As the night spiraled deeper into chaos, the footage of NBA YoungBoy's shocking altercation continued to spread like wildfire across social media. Fans were dissecting every frame, every shout, every single movement of that dimly lit parking lot brawl. The clip, barely a minute long, had already racked up millions of views within hours, painting YoungBoy in a dangerous light. But what the public didn't know was that this fight wasn't just about ego or pride. It was the result of months of growing tension inside his own circle. Reports began surfacing that the confrontation wasn't random. It was a boiling point that had been simmering beneath the surface for weeks. Sources close to the rapper revealed that his entourage had become increasingly divided, with certain members feeling mistreated, underpaid, and disrespected. One insider even claimed that the men involved in the fight were once some of YoungBoy's most trusted friends, people who'd been with him since before the fame. As more details emerged, fans began piecing together the clues. A few days before the incident, YoungBoy was seen on Instagram Live, visibly frustrated, ranting about snakes in his circle. At the time, no one took it seriously. They thought it was just another cryptic post from an artist known for his emotional outbursts. But now, in light of the brawl, it all started to make sense. According to an eyewitness, the fight erupted moments after YoungBoy's sold-out concert ended. He was walking toward his car when one of his close associates approached him, allegedly confronting him about unpaid money from recent shows. The argument quickly escalated from words to shoves. It went from calm to crazy in seconds, said the witness. You could see YoungBoy trying to walk away, but the other guy kept yelling. Then YoungBoy snapped. What followed next was pure chaos. Security rushed in, but it was too late. Fists were already flying. The sound of shouting echoed through the parking lot as the crew members tried to pull them apart. In the leaked video, you can see YoungBoy lunging forward, yelling something unintelligible before being dragged back by one of his bodyguards. The tension was raw, the energy explosive, and the betrayal visible in his eyes. Back on social media, opinions were split. Some fans defended him, arguing that he was just reacting to being provoked. Others criticized his behavior, saying it was yet another example of him letting anger ruin his image. But one thing everyone agreed on: this was not just some random affiliate, was deeply personal. Insiders close to the rapper confirmed that YoungBoy had been dealing with immense pressure lately. Between legal troubles, label issues, and personal struggles, his world was spinning out of control. He's been trying to cut people off who aren't real with him, one source shared. But when you start trimming the circle, the people who lose access to you start acting out. That's what this was about: money, loyalty, and control. As fans replayed the clip, some noticed something even more shocking. In the background, you could hear a familiar voice yelling, "You changed, bro." That line hit like a thunderclap. Viewers instantly began speculating about who said it. Was it one of his oldest friends? Someone from his childhood crew? The betrayal theme only deepened, adding a tragic layer to what had already become one of the most viral celebrity clips of the year. Meanwhile, YouTube commentary channels jumped on the story instantly. Titles like "NBA YoungBoy Betrayed by His Own Crew" and "The Real Reason YoungBoy Fought His Friends" flooded the trending tab. Influencers, bloggers, and even rival rappers began weighing in. Some mocked him, others sympathized, but everyone was talking about him. It was like the entire hip-hop world stopped for a moment to watch the drama unfold in Baton Rouge, where YoungBoy grew up. Locals weren't surprised. He's always had trust issues, one childhood acquaintance said. When you come from where we come from, loyalty means everything. And when someone crosses that line, it's war. Those words echoed what many fans already believed. This wasn't just about a fight. It was about betrayal, loyalty, and survival in the days following the fight. YoungBoy's camp tried to control the damage. His team issued a vague statement denying that anything serious had happened and claiming that the situation was exaggerated online. But fans weren't buying it. The footage spoke for itself, and the internet was relentless. Memes, slow motion, breakdowns, and conspiracy threads continued to flood every platform. Then came another twist. One of the men seen in the video decided to go live on Instagram to tell his side of the story, his voice shaking with anger. He claimed that YoungBoy had been treating his own people like disposable workers. He accused him of forgetting where he came from and acting like a god. Those statements hit hard, and the clip instantly went viral again, as if things couldn't get worse. A few hours later, YoungBoy responded with a cryptic post that read, "Ain't no loyalty in love. Watch who you feed." That one sentence sent fans into a frenzy. Was he admitting betrayal? Was he cutting off his crew for good? The speculation only intensified, especially after several of his close associates unfollowed him on social media within the same day. Behind closed doors, YoungBoy was reportedly furious. People around him said he felt cornered, betrayed, and misunderstood. The pressure was mounting, and those closest to him worried he might lash out again either online or in real life. He doesn't trust anyone right now, one insider said. He's in defense mode. When he feels hurt, he attacks. Even those who weren't directly involved began distancing themselves. Collaborators stayed quiet, producers refused to comment, and even his label refrained from issuing any statements. It was as if everyone was watching from the sidelines, waiting to see how far the situation would go, as more footage leaked from other angles. One thing became crystal clear: the look on YoungBoy's face wasn't just anger. It was heartbreak. This was someone who had built his empire from the ground up, surrounded by people he thought were his brothers. Only to have it all crumble in one night, fans could feel the pain behind the rage. And that's what made this story hit so hard. It wasn't just about fists flying in a parking lot. It was about how fame, money, and betrayal can destroy even the closest bonds. The world was witnessing NBA YoungBoy not just as a rapper, but as a man pushed to his emotional breaking point. And as the dust began to settle, one question remained on everyone's mind. If the people closest to him could turn on him, who could he trust now? The answer to that was about to shake the entire industry in Part 3. In the days that followed the viral explosion of the NBA YoungBoy fight footage, the world couldn't look away. Every major blog, every YouTube commentary channel, every gossip platform was dissecting every second of the clip, trying to piece together what really went down between YoungBoy and the men he once called his brothers. But what most people didn't realize was that what they saw in that chaotic minute of grainy footage was only a fraction of a much darker, unbound story. A story that stretched back months, maybe even years. Behind the scenes, the cracks in YoungBoy's circle had been widening for a long time. Fame had turned friends into business partners, and business had turned trust into transactions. People around him started noticing how the energy had changed, how laughter turned into whispers, and how loyalty slowly turned into leverage. It's like he could feel it coming, one insider said. He knew somebody close was going to betray him. He just didn't know who would strike first. The fight was just the breaking point. According to sources close to the situation, the altercation stemmed from more than money or pride. It was about control. YoungBoy had been trying to distance himself from certain individuals who he felt were exploiting his name, using his fame to build their own. Those individuals didn't take it well. They felt entitled to his success, claiming that they were there from day one, that they had earned their share. When the money stopped flowing, resentment turned into rage. In the days before the concert, people close to YoungBoy noticed his mood shift. He was quiet, reserved, keeping his circles smaller than ever. He reportedly told one friend, "I can't tell who's here for me anymore." That statement, in hindsight, sounds hauntingly prophetic. The very next night, the people he was questioning were the same ones swinging at him in the parking lot, as more angles of the fight surfaced online. Fans began uncovering details that were missed in the first clip. You could see one of YoungBoy's security guards desperately trying to hold him back, yelling, "It's not worth it." But YoungBoy was too far gone emotionally. This wasn't just about defending himself. This was years of bottled-up anger, pain, and betrayal exploding in real time. Meanwhile, the internet did what it always does. It twisted the story. Some blogs ran with the headline, "NBA YoungBoy attacks his own crew after show," while others claimed YoungBoy ambushed by disloyal friends. Both versions spread like wildfire, and both added to the confusion. But what made this situation even more complicated was the emotional aftermath. The fight wasn't just a moment of violence, it was a fracture in a bond that had once been unbreakable. Days later, YoungBoy's team announced that he would be taking a short break from public appearances, citing stress and exhaustion. But insiders knew it wasn't exhaustion, it was heartbreak. "He doesn't trust anyone right now," said one source close to him. "He's cutting off people he's known his whole life because he's realized not everyone around him had pure intentions." Everyone around him had pure. It wasn't just about friends anymore, it was about survival. The betrayal had turned his inner circle into a battlefield, and he was no longer sure who was on his side. That sense of paranoia followed him everywhere. People who'd once been welcome in his home were now locked out. Studio sessions became more private. Even his family members said he'd grown distant, quieter, colder. But as painful as it was, that isolation also fueled him. Within a week, he was back in the studio, recording nonstop. Those close to him said he was channeling everything, the pain, the betrayal, the rage, into his music. He wasn't talking to anybody, but he was saying everything through the mic. One producer revealed. You could hear the heartbreak in his voice. When he finally dropped a surprise track called No Loyalty, fans immediately connected it to the incident. The lyrics cut deep. Fed my enemies' plates. Now they eaten off my pain. I gave them shelter. They burned the roof down in my name. The song blew up overnight, trending at #1 within hours. It wasn't just a song, it was a confession, a statement, and a warning all in one. But the drama didn't end there. Shortly after the song's release, one of the men involved in the fight went live on Instagram, claiming YoungBoy was lying. He said he ain't no victim, he just don't like when people stand up to him. His rant went viral, reigniting the controversy all over again. And while YoungBoy stayed silent publicly, insiders said he was furious. He feels like everyone's trying to profit off his pain, one source said. He's done playing nice. That night, YoungBoy posted a cryptic message on his story. You'll see who really loyal when you stop giving. It was only up for a few minutes before being deleted, but fans caught it instantly. It reignited speculation that he was cutting ties with multiple people, not just friends. But business partners, producers, maybe even management. It felt like the start of a massive purge. Meanwhile, journalists and bloggers dug deeper, trying to find out who exactly was behind the betrayal. Some pointed fingers at old associates who'd been with him since his teenage years. Others claimed it was someone currently working within his team. But the truth remained murky. No one could pinpoint exactly who broke the bond. And that mystery only added to the intensity of the story, while social media continued to explode with theories. YoungBoy's silence grew louder. Fans began to notice that he wasn't posting, wasn't engaging, wasn't giving interviews. It was as if he'd vanished, gone completely dark. But those close to him said he was in rebuilding mode. He's working quietly, planning his comeback, said one friend. When he returns, it's going to shake the whole game. Then came the emotional turning point. A few weeks later, YoungBoy appeared in a late-night live stream. He looked calm, focused, not angry, just tired. When fans flooded the comments asking about the fight, he finally spoke. Sometimes the people you love the most are the ones that test you the hardest, he said. But I'm still standing. And I'm not folding. His tone wasn't aggressive, it was reflective, almost peaceful. For someone who'd just gone through public betrayal, it was a sign of growth. That clip alone went viral. Fans praised him for showing maturity and restraint. Others noted that it seemed like he had learned from the chaos, that he was channeling the pain into something greater. He didn't need to prove himself anymore. The fight might have hurt him, but it didn't break him. It woke him up by the end of the month. Industry insiders started hinting that YoungBoy was preparing a new project. One rumored to be his most personal and introspective yet. Some said it would address everything: the fight, the betrayal, the pain, the lessons. He's about to turn his lowest moment into his most powerful era. One executive shared, the night of the fight had nearly destroyed him. But it also became the spark that forced him to evolve. YoungBoy had been betrayed, humiliated, and mocked, but now he was coming back sharper, smarter, and stronger. The pain that once consumed him had transformed into purpose, and his fans waited for his next move. One thing became undeniable that night outside the concert: wasn't just a scandal. It was a defining moment. It was the night NBA YoungBoy stopped being just another rapper caught in drama and became a symbol of survival, resilience, and rebirth. The fight may have been messy, emotional, and raw, but in the end, It revealed the truth about loyalty in fame's cruel world. When the lights fade and the money slows down, the real ones stay and the fake ones run. For YoungBoy, that truth cost him friends, trust, and peace. But it also gave him something far more powerful: clarity. And now, with the world watching, one thing was certain: this wasn't the end of YoungBoy's story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one he would write on his own terms. With no snakes left in his circle, if you've made it this far, you already know this story is bigger than a viral clip. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the heavy price of fame. NBA YoungBoy didn't just lose friends that night. He lost pieces of himself. But from the ashes of that chaos, he's rebuilding stronger than ever, ready to remind everyone why he remains one of the most unfiltered, unpredictable, and powerful voices in hip-hop. What do you think really happened behind the scenes that night? Was YoungBoy betrayed by his own circle, or did the fame and pressure finally push him too far? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get real about it. And if you're as hooked on this story as we are, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Green, and turn on the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the wild world of hip-hop drama and celebrity secrets. Because the truth, the next twist in YoungBoy's story, might already be unfolding, and we'll be the first to bring it to you. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.